big dream, spark the fire within. Building business brick by brick to win. Every setback, every climb, shape our hustle, strength and time. Chasing growth and nothing less. This is the journey from scratch to success.
Hello everyone, welcome to From Scratch to Success, where we interview the most successful entrepreneurs about their journey. I'm your host, Jayma. Today, we have someone so amazing and special, Michael Azzi. Michael Azzi is the Group Facilities Manager for Intaus Services Group. Intaus Services Group is one of Sydney's leading fully integrated service company. Michael is also the president of Liverpool Chambers of Commerce. He is passionate about building a strong chamber which focusing on networking, which enables the members to have more business connections and database. Michael is also passionate about giving back to the community, and he is always helping the less fortunate. Whenever Michael enters a room, you feel his wonderful aura and his presence. I am so blessed to have you here with me, Michael.
Thanks, Jerry.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for the intro.
Yeah, of course. I'm just really blessed that you're here. So let's get straight into it. Tell me the origin story. Tell me about you and how it all began and what's the inspiration.
There's a lot happening. There's a lot, Born and raised Auburn, just hard work. We started off, I did my first degree at marketing at uni, but and had some other part-time jobs at the time. We'll be able to pay for it. Nothing came easy. And then, things just happen. I'm a strong believer of being in the right place at the right time. And things, went from, from working marketing to working part-time security to pay for uni and pay the bills, to getting into cafes and restaurants.
Okay.
And then we also dabbled a little bit in, we had a travel agency, we had a tobacconist.
Wow.
So we had a few businesses, built them up, sold them. And then, figured what do we do next? So we were in the security industry for a long time. And then that sort of took off. And then, things changed, market changed, clients changed, so we had to change too, and we had to adapt. So we expanded the security division to cleaning, to management. We saw the opportunity was there, and you sort of fake it till you make it. I hate people saying that, but you do. You grow, and things just opened up for us. So it was great, and we've been doing that now. So we focus now on cleaning, traffic control, pest control, ground maintenance. We've opened up a few other businesses to sort of coincide, like Strata, a law firm, property.
Wow.
So we sort of cover everything now.
Yes.
In that market to become like a one-stop shop, and it's it's just funny how the world takes you. And you end up from one place to another. It's good.
So thank you so much for sharing that. It's like I feel like you've been through suddenly that long journey of everything, and then you can do anything. It's amazing, Michael.
No, look, it's not easy, but you still have to have that willingness to have a go, and that's the hardest part, because a lot of people, I feel, are in their comfort zone.
Yes,
and so it's hard for them to get out of their job because it's paying their bills,
of course,
even if they don't love it.
Yeah.
So to make that change and adapt, that's a big step for people, and it was a big step for me. And you're always going to have, those doubts in the back of your mind.
Yes.
But you just need to,
So
take that chance.
Yes, that's actually the next questions I was going to ask you. Like, what are some of the early challenges that you had, and how did you overcome that, Michael?
Well, that's part and parcel of when we were growing, is that we saw that our clients needed different services for different things. And when you're already in there, you don't want them to sort of look at your competitors and say, oh, well, these guys can do this and that. So my thought was, I can do that and they don't have to look anywhere else. So you got to see those opportunities, you know, because in contracts that you might have a contract today, tomorrow you might not have a contract. So,
That's right, yes.
So we have to adapt to say, hey, you want us, you need us, because we're going to look after 2 or 3 things for you, not just one. So that's always important, to stay that one step ahead, you know, in the market, so that they don't look elsewhere for another, you know, for another service provider.
Yes. So I just want to ask you, because it really sounds like you've been through a lot in relation with the business. Was there certain things that truly inspired you to, you know?
I think that comes back, and it's a bit of a cliche sort of saying of, if you hang around the right people, you know, and the type of people that you hang around, you're going to end up like them. So I was very fortunate that I actually had a good group of people around me that always wanted to do better and be better and, you know, and grow. So I was lucky to be in that sort of circle of friends.
Okay.
Because otherwise I wouldn't know. You know, I'm still learning now about different things. But when you're with certain people, they'll teach you along the way, and you pick up their habits too. And you say, oh, I didn't think of that. Maybe I can do that. And so I was very lucky, because otherwise I might not be where I am, you know, to have those people around me. And it's very hard to find a group like that.
Yes, definitely. So sounds like you had a lot of just good influence around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to ask you, following on that, what would be like a crucial turning point for you during your career?
Look, for me, family was a big one. You know, we were working 7 days in the restaurants when we were doing the cafe and restaurants. That's very hard. It's hard work, breakfast, lunch and dinner. I was literally saying goodnight to my family on FaceTime.
Wow.
You know, working long hours, literally doing the same thing, even though I loved what I did, but it was really doing the same thing over and over. And I just needed a change. I couldn't do that anymore. I needed something, just ticked in my head that I needed to work smarter, not harder. You know, that we've done the hard yards. I need to find something now where I can balance my work life and my family life. And that's very important for me.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. I think often a lot of people just work, and they really sort of don't have enough time for the most important things in life, which we both know is obviously family
it's
and
hard.
friends, you know? Yeah. So how did sort of scaling up the business looking like?
Yeah, look, scaling up is hard. Like everyone says that now. I think I did it sort of unconsciously when we were evolving the company from just security to cleaning to everything else. So during that sort of evolution stage, you just sort of automatically sort of scale up. Now, obviously, there's heaps that come into consideration, whether it's your mindset, your business structure, you know, your staff, your clients. So there's a bit of accumulation of things there to scale up. But, you know, you look at things like during COVID, that was a big one. We were very lucky that a lot of the time companies closed up during COVID.
That's right, yeah.
And we were lucky enough to grow in COVID. So we were one of the lucky ones that, because we needed 2 teams for cleaning and stuff like that, that we grew.
Wow.
So we were very lucky. I didn't have to fire anyone or sack anyone, whatever, because if we didn't have work, it was lucky that I was actually took on, you know, we had to hire more people, which was very lucky. But, you know, I know people that businesses that were open 15, 20 years shut down. And that's, you know, that was their turning point in their life to say, I think it's time for something new. That's a very, very hard decision to make after such a long time, you know, and especially considering people's ages or whatever and family and just everything in general. It's a big decision, you know, to do something.
Definitely.
Basically start over.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just looked at that time for me was I needed a change. before, obviously before COVID, when we went from the restaurants to the facilities, it was just I needed to work smarter. I needed to change my life because I was just stuck in a rewind. And that same day, like Groundhog Day, if you ever seen that movie. It's just the same day over and over. Yeah. So I needed to get out of that cycle, and that was the moment that I said, okay, I need to change.
Okay.
And then you have your doubts.
Yes.
Is it going to work?
Yes.
You're going to do something different. Am I going to have enough to pay the bills? I've got family commitments. I've got mortgage commitments. All that comes into play.
Yes.
But you need to take that risk, otherwise you're never going to know.
That's right.
So I needed to change. It wasn't, my body was like, okay, it's enough. We need to do something else.
Yeah.
And look, I think from working from such a young age, I had that work ethic, so I wasn't afraid of work. I'm happy to do whatever, like I'll go on site, I'll get a mop bucket, I'll mop the floors, I'll clean the toilets, it doesn't matter to me. Work is work. People are like, oh, what are you doing? You're the boss. I'm like, no, I'm part of the team. We'll do it. This needs to get done. Let's do it. And that's it. You got to have that, that mentality.
Yeah, lead by example, right? Yeah. Wow, that's very powerful. I want to sort of dive back in something you said. You were talking about doubts, right? So everybody goes through that journey. I want to ask you, Michael, how do you overcome? First of all, what are some of the doubts that you had, and how did you overcome it?
That's the biggest part, like I said, because people get into their comfort zone. So they get to that comfort zone where, there's safety and security there of their payments and what they're earning. When people venture off to a new business, obviously you're going to doubt yourself. Can I do it? Do I have the knowledge to do it? Do I have the resource to do it? Do I have the money to do it? There's always, the doubt's always there.
Yes.
But look, I always try and stay positive. I have to. I always say, okay, there's doubt, but I'm gonna work my way through it. That's just something that I've grown up with. Even now, I tell my kids, just stay positive, guys. No matter whatever happens, you need to be positive. Anyone that's negative, you need to move away from them. I don't want to deal with negative people. I don't want to deal with negative environments.
Yes.
You need to be positive. You need to, do your homework, do your research. I always, I tell everyone everything's calculated. Everything's a numbers game. Do the numbers add up? And is the numbers there? Is it worth the risk for the numbers? So that's always important.
Yes, of
course.
Because
I look at, the old saying is you hope for the best but prepare for the worst. That I look at what's it going to cost me if this doesn't go to plan. What am I going to lose? Am I going to lose my house? Am I going to lose my car? Am I going to lose $10,000? Or what's the worst case scenario?
Yes.
That if this doesn't go, what am I going to lose? And if I do lose it, how far back is it going to set me? Am I going to collapse back to zero? Am I going to lose my home? You know what I mean? So that you think about that, but I don't let it control me. That my main thoughts are positive. That yes, we're gonna do it. It's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen the way I want it to. And then I just make sure that we stay on track and say, okay, if something did go wrong, how do I fix it quickly? So you got to be able to adapt and be flexible to change things quickly in business, especially in this environment of what's happening today.
Yes.
No one knows what's going on, interest rates, what have you. There's a shortage of stock or whatever it is. So you got to be flexible to say, okay, that's a small problem here. This is how I get around it. And this is how we, continue to grow without falling too far behind. So your mind's always trying to stay one step ahead. And you have to. You always have to be.
Yeah, sounds like you are such a positive person, and you're totally correct. It's really about your mindset and just keep being persistent.
You have to.
Yeah, I want to ask you, what was your first sort of success milestone, Michael, and how did it feel? I want you to actually tell me the story.
The first milestone was when in 1999, I bought my first cafe in Parramatta on Church Street. And it was literally a 10-minute decision. I was talking to the owner's friend of mine, and I'd never done it before. And we're sitting there talking, and we're like, "There's a cafe for sale, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to have a look?" I'm like, "Okay, let's go have a look." And then, I had a look, and literally my mind ticks 100 miles an hour, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. That's it. I'm going to work it out, borrow some money from the family, whatever." And we took off. So we got this little cafe, probably double the size of this room, coffee machine, little window, little tiny kitchen. And, I had a line out the door. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was absolutely crazy. Like, and, Church Street, Parramatta, back in...
Yes.
Everyone, there was more than a dozen coffee shops there. But people would line up out my door, lined up for a coffee. I'd have a few of, the tradies would order over the phone, and I'd run the coffees out to them in the street. It was some crazy times. It was good. But, like you get lucky. You get lucky, good service, especially with cafes, you need to be, on top of your game. You have to be clean, the food's got to be fresh, coffee's got to be done right. And back then, people were just learning about coffee back in '99. So a lot of people were getting used to having barista-made coffees.
Yes.
So it was a good time. It was a good time back then. It was good to see that it took off, and
Wow. It must made you feel so special. I mean, you made the decision in 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes. Wow.
It was literally because it was like, if we didn't buy it then and there, it was going to go to someone else. So we're like, okay, let's just take it. I'll take it. And that's why I took that jump, and I literally have been working for myself ever since.
Wow.
So I was very lucky. Like I said, things, it was the way it was meant to be. Call it fate or whatever. But
yes,
that's how it came about.
Yeah, wow.
And then we built it up, sold it, and then just did it again and again.
That's very inspiring. Just that coffee story. What was the name of the coffee shop?
So we ended up calling it. It was called Cookler's. There was a Greek girl that had it.
Oh,
and then I
okay.
changed it to Michael's Cafe and Espresso Bar. It wasn't very original, but Michael's.
Okay.
It became Michael's.
Michael's, yeah. Wow, very good. Well, thank you for sharing that. I guess the next question I have for you is that, Michael, is there something that you sort of learned the hard way? Like,
man, you learn everything the hard way when it's something that you've never been in before. I made a lot of mistakes. I've lost a lot of money along the way. You sit back and think, I can't believe I did that. But I suppose that's the experiences of life where you turn around and you become the person you are from those mistakes. Not looking enough into with resources and seeing what's going on and like you sort of, when you're new in an industry, you really need to do your homework. And it was, like I said, because we sort of jumped into that very quickly, you miss things and you learn and you just think, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I lost that. I can't believe I paid for that. All these things come in, but you just sort of, you live and you learn. Like I said, it's sometimes it hurts and it hurts. It can hurt you really bad and it takes a bit of time to recover, and thank God we have recovered. But, you look back and you think, that's life. We're going to have ups and downs, and
yes,
and and then business is the same. So you just hope that you don't make a big enough mistake where it costs you everything. So it's very important to stay on top of it, and it's hard at the same time because, like I said, who taught me? I had to learn things the hard way.
Yeah.
From different people, different experiences, different walks of life. What works for someone might not work for you, and you need to figure that out very quickly.
Yeah.
What just because someone else has done something and it's taken off, it might not be the same for you. So you need to understand that, and you need to say, okay, I want it to work for me, and so you start doing all your checks and balances. Okay, I think I've got it now where it will work for me, without costing me too much.
Yeah.
So they're the things that you need to stay on top of.
Yeah, wonderful. Going a little bit deeper, I want to ask you, so Michael, what keeps you going?
Well, look, you look at two things now. Obviously, being married and have children. So family for me is big. Like at the moment, having my finger in a few different pies is for family. You know, like I would love to leave, and I'm not talking about spoiling my children, but I'd love to leave something behind for them to sort of grow and build upon. You know, that's always a parent's dream, make sure the kids are okay. Obviously, the economy is in limbo at the moment of property prices and what's available for my children to at least be in the market to buy property. But so family for me is a big one.
Yes.
You know, that's pretty much 100% of my drive. You know, obviously, before I was married, it was just stabilizing myself and having a good base and foundation. You know, like we were taught in our tradition, you know, and from my dad, buy a house, you know, set yourself up, have, you know, that's whether people look at that as old school or not, that's great advice, you know, and I would tell my children the same thing. You know, at least I would like to have something that I've been working for, you know, when your time's up, at least you can say that I bought a property with it, you know, or a house. I've got something to show for my hard work. So that's always, you know, in the back of my mind that I'd like to at least own my own property, have a roof over my head, and say that, you know, this is mine. I've earned this. I've worked for it. And then obviously having 4 children, I'd like to be able enough to help all my children. Whether I can or can't, you know what I mean? Like I'll take those steps, but you know, at least having a roof over their head,
Yes.
you know, food in the fridge, clothes on their back, you know, we're already blessed more than we deserve. So, you know, and I'll just work hard for that, you know what I mean? Like you just want
Yeah.
to provide for your family.
Yeah.
You know, that always keeps me, you know, on the forefront of what I'm doing. Make sure they're educated well as much as we can. You know, I think knowledge is power. The more you
Yes.
know, the better position you're in for the future. So we always keep our kids, you know, educated, studying, training, playing sports, you know, keeping them healthy, good food, clean food, you know, like
Yeah.
all these little bits and pieces, you know, but it all comes at a cost. So,
Of course.
you
Yeah.
know, it's crazy. Like it's not, you know, I look at how we grew up, you know, and I tell people we grew up on the street, but it was good on the street, not bad streets. So, you know, but the streets can teach you a lot on how to survive and, you know, and how to get this. As you know, it's different times, but I still want them to learn things themselves, because I think when people learn it themselves, they'll appreciate things a lot better in what they've got and what we have as a family. You know, unit working together for the benefit of everybody. That's important. I'd like to live that.
That's so beautiful. Shout out to Michael's family. Hopefully, I'll get to meet them at
Yeah.
some stage, of course, you know.
They're doing well. They're
No,
doing-
that's really good. I think also a lot of people can relate to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael, the next question for you is, do you have a habit or routine that keeps your success?
I did. Well, you know, like you try and keep in good habits. You know, eating right, training healthy. I've sort of let myself go a little bit, but I've been sort of reading a lot of, well, not reading. I've had a lot of audible books playing in the car now since I've been driving a lot, and I love listening to like some mindset stuff and some growth. You know,
Yes.
some growth sort of books and stuff like that, and situations. Because I'm sort of been in routine working, it sort of comes automatic. Some of the habits. I get up, you know, get dressed, head to the office, smash out some emails, you know, chase up whoever I need to chase up. I try and be one step ahead if we need something in advance, you know, get out there. I'm still very hands-on in the sense I'm out there with my clients on site, seeing what they need, talk to the staff, see what they need. And I enjoy that, you know, you know, still being hands-on and, you know, and getting out to the sites and seeing what they need. And I also, you know, tell my staff, even if there's something there that we're not paid to do, just do it anyway. You know,
Okay.
if there's something a little bit extra that can be done, just do it.
Wow.
I think it comes down to who we are as a company and who we are, you know, as people and person. Like sometimes it's not always about money.
Of course.
You
Yeah.
know, so if you got a good relationship with a client, do that little bit extra. There's always going to be a problem or a drama. We forgot something to do something, and we'll get yelled at, whatever. But we fix it straight away. You know, like I said, we always fix it straight away. And then 99% of the clients appreciate that they see, oh look, you know, they're always going, you know, further and beyond what their expectations are. You know, that, you know, we try and make sure that we do a good job, you know, and better than what they're expecting, you know. And that just comes back to the reputation. Every company is going to say, we're the best, we're going to do it. But let's go out there and do it.
Yeah.
You know? Look professional, be professional,
Yes.
you know, use a good quality product. You know, I think that speaks of who you are as a company as well.
That's lovely, because I think it's not always about, like you said, not always about money. It's about also helping the community and, you know, helping others as well. The next question I want to ask you is actually, how do you deal with like burnout, fear, or criticism? And I sort of want you to actually just tell me, maybe was there a time where something had happened, and, you know, I really want to hear everything.
Well, look, you know, like I said, there's been good times and bad times. There has to be, you know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, you look back and you think, man, what am I doing? What's going on here? And we, you know, I've come close to a few times, you know, in financial trouble where I'm like, I've overcapitalized and I'm like, oh shit, I need to fix this ASAP before I go under. And you know, so that's you know, that doubt and that sort of fear in my head of, am I going to lose everything I've just worked hard for? That really can affect a few people.
Yeah.
I always go back. I think I'm not a Bible basher in the sense of being, you know, we're Catholic background, Maronite. But you know, I hold my religion very strong, and I think, you know, and I always say if I'm meant to have something, if God's meant to give it to me, I'll have it. If not, no problem. I'll keep moving forward. So my faith in my religion is a big comfort to me and my family. I always, like I said, I always thank God for what we have. I've been blessed with more than what we deserve. You know, and I just think, you know, I'll just wake up in the morning and say, Lord, let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. What have you got installed for me today?
That's it.
You know, because like at the end of the day, like I said, if I'm meant to have it, I'm meant to have it. If I'm not, it is what it is. You know, so I'll just keep moving forward, making sure I do the right things.
Yes.
Making sure, you know, that my head space is in a good space and positive, and you know, and like I said, being that little bit religious helps me in the sense of, okay, let's go, let's do the right thing, treat people right, make sure that I get treated right. And I think that's worked for me because some people just can end up doing different things, you know, whether it's drugs or alcohol, whatever they turn to. I'm, you know, thank God I've never been caught in that situation of drugs and alcohol, you know, gambling. I've just, you know, I like to work hard and I'll spend on my family for my family's benefit. But I think having that faith for me is big. It's big with my family. Like, you know, like if whatever doubts you have, whatever fears you have, I tell my kids, I said, Dad, just pray. Say a little prayer.
Yeah.
Say a little prayer. Say, Lord, I don't know if there's anyone that's going to get me out of this shit. It's going to be you. So, you know, that's just how it is.
Yes.
That's just how it is.
I'm so happy that you actually mentioned God, because I love Jesus, and you know, praise God for everything that you shared, because
That's
Michael,
true.
He will never give us something that we cannot bear. And our strength does come from Him. That's why we keep persistent, perseverance, and then, keep going.
Absolutely.
So yeah, thank you for sharing your faithfulness with me. And yeah, I'm really happy to find out that you are a brother in Christ as well.
By all means, look,
Yeah.
it's I believe that everyone has their cross to bear, so everyone has their own
Yes.
problems. And look, I don't sit there and I'm not saying we're better than anyone. Everyone, each to their own. Whatever gives them peace. Like I said, born and raised in Auburn. I think 90% of my mates were of the Muslim faith, and I had no problems with that. Whatever people find peace. Good luck to you. I'm not here to judge anyone. I look at myself, and that's it. That's what I come down to, and I'll make sure that I try and stay on the right path. It's simple stuff. It doesn't need to be, too confusing or overcomplicate things. Let's keep it simple.
Yes.
Simple rules. Treat people how you want to be treated. You can say that the 10 Commandments sort of things to live by, which is good rules for everybody to live by. It's not like you got to read into it too much. It's very simple.
Yeah.
And that's how I like to keep it. That everyone understands, and and each to their own with what gives them peace.
Well, thank you for sharing, Michael. Now, the next round, it's going to be a power round. So,
Okay.
short, quick answers,
Yeah,
okay? Are we ready?
Let's go.
All right. First question. A business book or podcast that has changed your thinking?
Business book, man. I've been reading so many.
Give me a few.
Oh man, I don't know. I read the 48 Laws of Power is pretty good. I like that book. That's a really good book. 48
Great.
Laws of Power. Go.
Best advice you've ever received?
Again, there's a lot, but there's one that sticks with me, and I say this all the time for my staff. If someone's not helping your business, they're hurting your business in staff. So I don't know why that's stuck in my head for a long time.
That's a good one. What's one thing you wish you've done differently?
Jeez, there's a million things.
I don't have all.
There's some opportunities that I would have loved to take on, and I didn't. It was a should have, would have, could have, but for some reason I never did. I don't know. I panicked.
Yeah.
It was buying a business many years ago, and I didn't take it, and I should have.
Okay. That's okay. Michael, if you were to lose everything tomorrow, what would be your first move? Let's go.
Well, the first thing is probably go to church and pray to God and say, help me get through this. That'd be number one.
Amen.
So I head to church, and then I'd just start from the beginning again. Just start, mate. Start from the beginning again.
That's it.
If I've lost it all, so I'm at the bottom, so
That's
the only
right.
way is up. So
Yes.
let's just start again.
Love that.
So.
Yeah. What's one myth about entrepreneurship that you like to burst?
Man, you know what? The hardest thing with entrepreneurship is, and with some of the things I've seen, is when they tell you where to invest your money, but the problem is they never tell you where to get the money from in the first place. And it annoys the shit out of me. It's, oh yeah, put your money here, put your money there. Okay.
Yeah.
But where do you get $50,000 to $100,000 to start with when you got all these bills to pay?
Yes.
They miss that part. I'm like, okay, yeah, money makes money, but you need money. Where does it come from?
Okay.
How do you get that money? So it's a funny one when I say that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's a yes. No comment for me on that one, but yes, that's right. So, Michael, what is next for you?
There's a lot of things happening. Like I said, we've just set up like a strata and real estate and law firm. And we're looking at setting up a non-for-profit called the Phoenician Community Association, where we want to start doing some things for the community. We're going to link up with an RTO and just run some life skill courses for some kids and stuff like that for the community.
Wow.
So yeah, I like doing that sort of stuff. I like, I love doing some community stuff and helping wherever I can, and I sponsor as much things as I can and I support as much as I can.
Yes.
So I enjoy that sort of stuff. So that's next. We're sort of in the process of setting all that up now and partnering up with some RTOs and some courses for some kids. Just life skill, because I just feel like the kids at the moment are a bit lost.
Yes.
And they don't have that survival instinct that we had when we were growing up. They're a little bit more emotional, these kids these days.
Okay.
So I just want to, we'll see how that goes. But that's in the pipeline now to do some more community stuff.
Wow, very inspiring, very inspiring. Good cause.
Yeah.
The last question for you would be, any advice for people that's just starting out for their business? What advice would you give them?
I think there's a lot of help and resources out there. The old saying, and what I try and tell my kids is, come and learn from me so you don't make the mistakes that I've made. And you don't understand that till you actually get into that position. Even like I said earlier, being around a good group of people, positive people, is very important. So if you can surround yourself by that people nice and early, that's key. Yeah. Unfortunately, like I said, the old saying is, if you hang out with 5 losers, you're going to become a loser. If you hang out with 5 good people that are positive and pushing, you're going to be the 6th. So you really are a product of your environment. So you need to sort of come to chamber events, come to association events, learn from people.
Yes.
Like, I still do that now. I'm still learning from different people doing different things, thinking, how can I incorporate that in my business?
Yeah.
So I don't know everything. And that's the thing, you need to be honest with yourself to say, okay, I need some help. But then the next step is, okay, who do I go to help? Where do I find that help? Yeah. So there are things out there to help. There's so much stuff out there. And I'm seeing them now, I wish I had them, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
But, you're always changing, you're always adapting. So if you can find a good group to sort of be around now, man, and I tell my kids all the time, I said, I know you want to hang out with the cool kids and blah, blah, blah. But if they're wasting your time, you need to get away from them. Sorry to tell you, Dad, but it's, you need to find a good group that's positive and pushing and hungry, like you want to have that, that attitude of, let's go, we can do it.
Yes.
Let's go get it. That's what you want to be around.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Perfect. Lastly, how does people get contact with you, Michael?
I've got emails, phone numbers, they can come and talk to me.
Yes.
I'm always around.
Yes, on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, all that social media stuff. But I try and get through. I talk to everybody because that networking is very important.
Of course.
I would rather love to know everybody and be recommended by everyone. And that comes from them knowing who you are. Like I said, you want to be there in the right place at the right time. There's no point just being a member of an association. Oh yeah, I'm a member, like blah blah. But get out there.
Yes.
Meet and help other people. Even if no one can help me, maybe I can help someone else. I think that's very important.
Yes.
That sometimes it's not always about me.
Of course.
I just might happen to talk to someone who is in a difficult time in their business or their life, and if I can help them at that point, mate, that's reward enough.
That's wonderful.
So it's good.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Michael, for your time. I truly, really, really enjoyed our conversation today, and thank you for being so raw with your story, and I truly feel inspired. Yeah. So thank you for being here.
Thanks for inviting me.
So, everybody, I just want to say thank you so much for watching From Scratch to Success. I hope you guys are inspired, because I certainly feel all warm and fuzzy and very inspired. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. And I will see you guys next time. God bless you all.